continues. Joining us, starting quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes, Brad Kaya. Brad, I want to ask you something. You know, I hear a lot of great players talk about what they do in the offseason to mentally and physically prepare themselves for the upcoming season. What have you done this offseason to make you a better quarterback for the Hurricanes this year?
I've done a lot of things. First off, I guess weight room wise, I think I've gotten stronger, gotten bigger. Just to be able to stand in there and just be more sturdy in the pocket, I think I put on some good weight. Our strength staff, our nutrition staff is doing an awesome job of everyone across the board. And then I've also just done a lot of studying of Coach Rick's past offenses and just getting it down to where Coach Rick can call play, call certain protection, and it's second nature to me.
Brad, are some of those things that you've done in the offseason, will they help you? Your completion percentage was just over 60%. Will they help you in those facets of the game?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about stats. I'm just worried about winning, man. I could care less if it's 50% or 80%. I'm not really worried about that. Just mainly on just being consistent and how I play and my footwork. Coach Rick's really, he's on me all the time about, he always corrects me. Anything I did wrong, he corrects me. And it allows me to not get complacent and just to keep getting better. Each week, he just wants me to just keep getting the best I can possibly be.
Brad, last year you guys, you had a tough season last year. That debacle against Clemson at home for 8-0. You got knocked around like you're a rag doll, and then you missed that Duke game, and then you came back. What did you learn from 2015 to get yourself ready for 2016? How to protect yourself under center? Because I know quarterbacks are going to get clobbered no matter what you are, what league, CFL, NFL, whatever.
Not so much of having. I took a lot more hits than those two games. Nothing really in terms of protecting myself. But I think I do a good job of that. Some hits like that one against Clemson. I couldn't have done anything about that.
Right.
I think I'm pretty good at protecting myself. I'm in the pocket. I've taken a lot of hits. If you watch my film, I've taken a whole lot of hits, and I think I'm pretty tough in that aspect.
Well, talk about Mark Rick's offense. I know Al Golden last year had a strict offense. It seemed like teach you during spring practice that's going to help you open up the play game, the passing game, and maybe light up the scoreboard that people down in South Florida haven't seen it since Ken Dorsey.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Coach Golden's offense, we had a lot of things that I had freedom on, and I was able to be certain plays that I'd check us in and out of. There'd be a lot of different checks that I was responsible for. So in that aspect, I ran most of that. And then me and Coach Golden didn't really have any play calling duties. So just with me and Coach Rick, Coach Rick's going to be calling the plays. So it'll be a lot more communicating with the head man in terms of game plan, week to week game plan, and our philosophy, depending on what game week it is going into that game.
I was looking at the schedule coming up. You have a trip to South Bend to play a team called the Irish. That you were you part of the last time you guys played them, or were you not even on the team yet?
I think I was like 5 years ago.
The one that played in got clobbered.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. Anyway, so I know this is a long, looking out at the schedule, and it's week 9, and everybody doesn't want to talk about it, but what is your feeling like for you going to South Bend, playing a team like Notre Dame in that grand stage that everybody talks about, almost like Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good game, and that's a historic stadium. Honestly, South Bend it's an awesome place. It's a good college football atmosphere. The Fighting Irish in that area that is the pro team in that area. So it's gonna be an awesome atmosphere. They got field seating. If you see pictures, there's people sitting literally on the field.
Wow.
It's awesome atmosphere. I'm looking forward to playing.
Yeah, we're making the road trip hopefully out there, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
One another question that I have a brother of mine who's a big Miami fan, and he always drills me about Miami questions, and to the point I get tired of hearing it. Ken Dorsey, everybody calls you the next Ken Dorsey. How do you get that pressure, not worrying about what people are saying to you in the media, talking about whatever? How do you keep yourself focused on that, so you don't on your game instead of everybody saying you're the next Ken Dorsey, you're the next somebody? I know it's you're Brad, you're not Ken.
Yeah, you always, you have to acknowledge it and acknowledge that comments like that are there, and it's cool to acknowledge it. It's an honor, honestly, to be considered in the same light as him. That's an honor. And that guy was awesome when he was here. You also have to realize that, while stuff like that at school, that's mainly for people on the outside, for fans.
Right.
I play. That's more for you guys to worry about.
Right.
Next court than I have to worry about. I have to worry about being the best Brad Kaya I can be.
Right.
I owe it to my teammates. I owe it to myself. I owe it to my coaches, their families. So, you have to know that there's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean?
Brad, I want to ask you something. I know that you recently went to an elementary school talking to kids about education. And, we talked to a lot of student athletes. And how important is it for you, especially being at such a prominent school in the most important position on the field, to be a good role model?
Oh, it's very important. And a lot of guys don't realize it. A lot of guys, they see their Twitter followers and think, the only people who are seeing their tweets are people their age. Well, no, there's little kids out there. There's young people. People who are influenced by you, and you have to realize that your reign of influence extends far past to what you think it extends to. So, as a college football player in any program, you owe it to your community to give back and shed knowledge. I mean, it's a part of it. You chose to play college football, and I think all guys, it's a responsibility.
Wow, man, I got to tell you, that's pretty refreshing to hear. We've interviewed hundreds of student athletes, and I wish I didn't have to say that you were a rarity. So, although I'm not exactly a Hurricane fan, you're turning me into one.
It's awesome, man. I mean, it's awesome, and it makes you feel good when you do it. Some guys are kind of, I don't want to go talk to these kids. Who cares about these kids? But you can change a kid's life. I know when I was a kid, growing up in LA, just by watching Reggie Bush and Carson Palmer, that changed my life, and that made me want to be a college football player. And by playing college football, it's opened doors for me that I never knew was possible. So to get back and hopefully change another kid's life to where he, say a kid, 10 years from now, instead of doing drugs, instead of drinking that alcohol, that kid's out practicing because he wants to be like Brad Kaya one day. You know what I mean? I was out in Kendall, south of Miami. And yesterday actually, I talked to a Pop Warner team, and it made my day when the quarterback of the team wore number 15, and he said, "I wear 15 because you're my favorite player." So that made my week.
Yeah, I think that just made my week.
Yeah, that
was just awesome.
Yeah.
Man. I can't tell you. We work in media. We've worked in the NFL and the NBA before, and it is just. It's awesome to know that you're using your platform.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, unless you're playing, my Florida State Seminoles, I'm going to be rooting for you, man. Because it's just tremendous. I can tell. When we had Coach Rick on before, I know he's a great man of faith.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's just.
Awesome,
I can see how you guys would mesh together. And talk about how important it is. Most people they just think that quarterbacks get plays from their head coach, but that continuity. It takes a little time, and to know that you guys are on the same page.
Yeah.
How important is that to your success?
Oh, it's very important because he's the head man. Like I said, he's developing game plans. Me and him have to see eye to eye, and I think we do, and we have this past spring. And we kind of speak the same football language, I guess you could say. We agree on a lot of things, and that's really important for us to agree on certain things. Because coach might have a play installed that I might not feel too comfortable running, or vice versa. Stuff like that, it's just really important for how our offense is going to function this year. It's really dependent. I mean, obviously there's 10 other guys, but it's also dependent on my performance and how consistent I am, and how consistent our head coach is calling the right plays in the right situation.
Starting quarterback Brad Kaya, thank you so much for your time. We're going to take a short break here on Herb FM Sports.